They thought they had brainwashed all of us and they were going to be able to shut down society, make remote schooling permanent, bring in central bank digital currencies, get rid of cash. This whole agenda that's kind of been revealed, they thought they were going to get all of it, but it didn't work because too many people rose up and stopped it. But Big Pharma has been doing these scares for a long time, and when they do that, primarily it's pump and dump. It's pump up a stock price, get the federal government to give a ton of money to a big pharma corporation, get that stock price high, get all this vaccine or drugs or whatever out there, try to get as many people to take it as possible. And if they don't take it, they ship it all off to black and brown countries. And if they take it, fine. And if they don't take it, they throw it away. They don't care. They've made their money. So I'm not scared of monkeypox, bird flu, chickenpox. I mean, whatever it is they're saying we need to be scared of now, because most of these are really just pump and dump schemes. They're just trying to take public money and give it to big pharma.
We will have our new 1776 moment, and we will rise above the low vibration, fear, division, and hate that is propagated by the Uniparty, the Republicans, and the Democrats. My name is Kyle Kemper, child of the earth. I have a bus called the Kennedy Bus.
Oh, wow! Can I hop in?
Damn. If you want to be taken seriously by, The Guardian, you want to kind of rise into that.
Big paper, London, 9th largest English language publication in the world, The Guardian.
You need to close the chapter on this ski mask. Do you guys understand that we're in the year 2024 and we have exponential technologies all around us?
Those of us who feel that way have no home other than Bobby's campaign in this election cycle.
People like yourselves are finally fed up.
My first cause was ending the war on drugs. It started in some part as sort of a selfish thing, right? It was a recognition in my own life of the roles that things like cannabis and psychedelics had played, and how early in my life I realized I had already been lied to about something very deep and fundamental. You could almost look at it like magnetism or something. There's a certain amount of and if you can overcome that force enough, you can get out of its thrall, its force.
You break the matrix.
Just outside of the window of that magnet's stickiness, and all of a sudden, it falls away actually quite quickly. But how do you cut through? How do you reach somebody where they're at when they're in such an extreme fear state, and that's holding their world in place?
Is he talking about overdoses right now?
We talk about the issues via a specific personality and try to align them as the perfect avatar of issues.
I love this guy right here.
It's one thing I learned about working with Vice President Harris, and she always stand on business.
That whole paradigm is based on identifying the adversary by the worst possible caricature you can point at them. And then as an in-group activity, deciding that that is an accurate portrayal of that other person or group. And then the campaign promises, they never really come deeply, deeply into play. And by the way, independents just became, I believe, 51% of the electorate. So we're already the largest voting bloc. The only thing keeping us out is the self-fulfilling prophecy from repeated messaging that there is no chance.
Independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy.
What, XQC make that graph? What are you talking about? 51% independent voters. That's never happened in history. What are you talking about? That's actually never...
Junior is saying, let's go, holding a fundraiser in Chicago.
51%.
My name's Michael Caine.
You get that, right?
I'm a former New York City public school teacher, but I was fired because I didn't get the COVID shot. And when that happened, the only person who really stuck up for me was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He backed my lawsuits through Children's Health Defense, and we've been suing for over 3 years now. And it really was an important thing for my family. And when he announced he was running for president, I was all in right away. So that's why I'm here.
Free Palestine! In our lifetime, liberation is coming. Tomorrow, basically. Yep. I saw you at the protest. Who are you?
Yes, I'm Saddam with Channel 5.
Are you pro-Palestinian?
I'm pro-Palestinian.
Hell yeah, one-state solution. Free Palestine.
Well, Bobby believes in a two-state solution. He believes that there's two people there with two national identities that both need their rights respected. Yeah, that's his opinion on it.
How do you feel about Trump?
I've never supported Trump or voted for Trump before. Personally, I'm not a fan.
Did Joe Rogan just make an endorsement in the 2024 election?
They do it on the left, they do it on the right. They gaslight you, they manipulate you, they promote narratives. The only one who's not doing that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
RFK Jr. then tweeted out that clip, captioning it in part, quote, From one legitimate guy to another, thank you, Joe Rogan, for always putting substance first.
Just 2 hours later, Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, "It'll be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring. MAGA 2024.
He is not as bad as Kamala Harris is. He does respect some of our freedoms and some individual rights that I do appreciate. But, you know, recently it was revealed and exposed in the press that he played a big role in getting $60 billion approved for the Ukraine war behind the scenes, getting congressmen to vote for it. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign to me for what a second Trump administration might mean. But there's no question the biggest threat we have right now is the DNC and Kamala Harris.
You know what someone told me the other day? That Kamala.
Wait a minute. If I'm not mistaken, the timeline just doesn't add up here. From when Trump left office and Joe Biden got in office, to when Hamas attacked the Israel that place that started the war to Israel and Hezbollah or Gaza. Right? Like how would Trump give them any money or fund any money towards that war?
You know what the root meaning of her name is?
How?
Snake. Now I don't know her personally, and I'm not trying to say that, you know, I know her character, you know, everyday life. I don't know that. But I do know anything Democratic, the policies are absolutely atrocious. Okay? Go to Detroit. Go to the south side of Chicago. Go to Baltimore. Go to some of these Democratic cities that have been run by Democrats for decades. And that's all you need to look at.
Let's talk about the name Kamala. Now, Kamala is derived from the Sanskrit word Kamal, which means the lotus flower. It symbolizes resilience, persistence, humility, purity, and inner strength.
My name's Kevin. I'm an actor and activist here in Chicago, and I'm all for free speech. You could definitely call me a civil libertarian. So I say, let's hear the views. If people have perspectives, let's share them. America's about free speech. Let's exercise it.
I heard that he made the bean. It was an RFK bean.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what. Say again?
He made the bean.
What's that?
RFK bean.
I'm just not understanding what you're saying.
He made Robert F. Kennedy was part of the bean, making the bean.
Robert F. Kennedy, the father or the was what?
I'm not sure. It was part of making the bean. We had the RFK bean. This is day 2 of the DNC. We're at the RFK bean. As you can see, it's a beautiful bean. The frijol, as they say in California. I bet you $100 the Guardian can't come over here and record shit at the fucking bean.
The bean? Oh, I don't know anything about that. I can tell you about the bean, though. The bean is actually also known as the Cloud Gate. The Cloud Gate, and it's right over there. It's a beautiful art piece. We call it the bean affectionately here in Chicago. That's the thing about Chicago. We've got so much to share.
Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. Boom, you're in there.
The bean kind of looks like shit. It really... What kind of art piece is that? How about you make a metal house and then polish it and then leave it there and that's the fucking art piece. It's not a big deal. It's like... The bean, you guys think that's a big deal? Like, what do you think? That's fucking Picasso painting? That's bullshit that you're looking at. That's bullshit. It looks like shit.
A fantastic VPN, something says Channel 5. 4 free additional months and a huge discount on a 2-year plan. If you happen to not like it, which is pretty much impossible, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, guys, back to the streets.
Join this movement and declare your independence. Bobby Kennedy, he's a modern Renaissance man. Knowing that his father was killed and his uncle was killed for trying to be that Jedi, to trying to be that change agent. For him to step in and say, you know what, the Jedis are returning, is a very powerful thing.
Do you feel like he's being silenced?
So The media has an ownership structure of a very few companies owning a very large amount of affiliates, and they present themselves generally as being objective, but there's a subjective leaning to it, and you can see the scripting across all the different channels as well, and the messaging. Lately, we saw the weird message from the liberal media towards Trump.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are. So it isn't much else. Don't give them the power.
And we've also seen Kamala being painted as joyful and joy.
She seems to have really grown as a candidate.
What you see now is someone who is embracing her own joy. Now, that also happens to be a fantastic strategy as Trump is out there as the horseman of the apocalypse.
So they program these messages. It's called television for a reason. Tell-a-vision. And it comes through the channels and the programs. Recognize the media is trying to control your mind. They do not want you to think with your own brain. They want to tell you how to feel and how to think and what to be afraid of and who to hate. It is frankly ridiculous, and it is dangerous, and it is chaotic and deceptive. This is America. This land was founded on the principles of freedom and the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of elections. It was never intended to be a two-party system. That's where we stand today, is a vicious two-party system, and one of the parties is the Democratic Party, and their version of democracy involves fighting to make sure nobody else is on the ballot. They tried to put Trump in jail, and now they're actively trying to get Bobby off of the ballots. He's collected over 1 million signatures, 1 million signatures to get on the ballots across this country. And now the DNC, through their Clear Choice PAC, the CCP, is actively working to get Bobby off of the ballots. He was supposed to be here in Chicago, meeting with communities, doing engagements to actually understand the challenges that people of Chicago face. Instead, he's in a courtroom having to defend himself against nonsense charges being brought by the lawfare division of the Democratic Party.
Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was seen leaving.
You contradict yourself when you say that there are television channels that tell certain visions or through channels or programs or whatever, and then you immediately say, everyone has the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression and the freedom of the media, right, to say most whatever you want, unless it's smearing someone else in a certain light or defaming them. So yeah. That's what we got from the freedom stuff. Now you could break that up into, like, you could go down the line and say, since these companies own all of these the other channels and products and things like that, and they own most of the rights to that in this big entity, which, you know, you could call like it is a conglomerate of a bunch of different entities matched into one, like Disney or ABC or other. ABC is run by some of the another company or whatever. I don't know. But to break that up, it wouldn't be anything about freedom of speech. It would be more about not allowing these countries to take up, or not allowing these businesses to take up all of the space, like to not be able to buy out this and that and this and that, and they can only stick with so much, right? They can't buy everything. That's what you would have to do, which would, you know, probably be a problem. But so would the other thing.
The Albany County Courthouse Thursday, following closing arguments on a case to keep him off the ballot.
I wish Kamala and Bobby could have a debate.
What charges are they bringing up against him?
They're challenging the validity of his signatures. It's an easy thing. They have the opportunity to do that. It is election interference at the core.
CNN may have violated campaign finance laws, according to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s campaign.
There was a debate commission. The debates were supposed to happen in September. Instead, the Uniparty, the Democrats and the Republicans, decided we're going to hold debates earlier and we're just going to work with our media partners. So the Republicans chose CNN with the Democrats to do that fake debate with Joe Biden. It was entirely set up so that Joe Biden would look bad because he can't debate, he's unfit for office.
Dealing with
everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
And so that set up the movement of the candidate from Biden to Harris. And Harris was not elected. She is fully selected. She did not win any primaries. She lost to Joe Biden in the last one, and now she is being anointed here in Chicago.
As one people, we are moving forward.
She will not do an interview with you. She will not do an interview with Channel 5 News. She will not do a long-form podcast with a Joe Rogan or a Russell Brand or even a Piers Morgan or even a Dana Bash or anything like that. She will not engage. So how do I feel about her? I do not believe she is qualified whatsoever to be the president of the United States of America if she's not willing to even simply engage in a debate or even a press conference. I mean, come on, folks.
What got you into Robert Kennedy?
Everybody in the Kennedy campaign is coming from one of the other big parties. So nobody agrees on anything. That much I'll tell you. But we all agree in this. A two-party system is busted. We're either choosing this side, which is beholden to the government or the corporate interest, or we're choosing that side and they're beholden to a different set of corporate interests. Kennedy is all about fighting the impact of businesses within the government. He calls it corporate capture. There's a massive amount of regulation that is driven by a business interest.
The pharmaceutical industry, the oil industry, the coal industry, the chemical industry, which I've seen firsthand throughout my career. You know, each of their agencies are captured. They become sock puppets for the industry they're supposed to regulate.
Now listen, I'm a business owner and I understand what it means to try to drive your business, but our water's not clean.
My wife and I actually recently started getting all of our dairy and meat from an Amish farm. So there's no additives, it's all grass-fed, which is even better than organic, which is fed with some vegetable feeds that can be off and such as well too. And that's literally something they want to stop. They want to stop us from choosing to be able to eat more natural and stuff. Yeah.
Before Rob or Bobby, did you lean more to the left or to the right?
What do you think? I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah, okay,
I'm pretty conservative.
Right, yeah.
And it's tough because I was a big Trump voter and I was a big supporter. Not the right demeanor for today. Kennedy brings them back together on both sides, man. I could sit down with somebody who's a super lefty and a super right person in the middle. We're all locking arms. We're all charging forward. It's amazing.
The
I think
super
Kamala's fine.
lefties.
You want to be honest, right? She was my #1 choice on the Democratic side when I was watching stuff in 2020 because I kind of like where she was going. She's a little bit heavy on the criminal justice side. It's not quite where I would want to be. I'd be a little bit more to the left on that side.
When we're talking about serious and violent crime, lock them up. In San Francisco, in my office, we've increased the conviction rates for the DA's office to the highest they've been in just under 15 years.
How do you feel?
Yeah, this is in 2010 though.
About Trump's campaign?
You got to get people riled up in order to drive motivation, but it feels dirty. You don't need to talk like he talks in order to get your point across.
People say, be nice. Have you heard her laugh? That is the laugh of a crazy person. That is the laugh of a crazy. It's the laugh of a lunatic. Have you heard it?
And listen, man, I liked a lot of his policies. I could tell you which treaties I loved that he got out of. I could tell you which judges I loved. But man, you know, you got to be a better guy.
What policies are the ones that you're most interested in right now?
Big one for me is ending what Kennedy calls the forever wars, where we're there in Afghanistan for 20 years with no business being there. It's a big deal for me. $8 trillion of increase in the debt. It's only going to be eclipsed by Biden. He'll get to 9 by the time he's done. That causes inflation that is insanely high. So for me, I'm going to do okay. My kids, my grandkids are going to have a problem with that.
How do you feel about Kamala Harris?
These forever wars that you're talking about, are you referring to the occupation of military personnel in other countries? Because if you're going off of that, there would be over 200 countries that we would have military personnel stationed right now. Over 200. Now, would you call those forever wars?
I don't like her at all. Every time she speaks, she doesn't have any policies. She sounds like she doesn't have a very good education. I'm also one of the vaccine injured. I spent like a week last year in the hospital. I ended up with an autoimmune disease. People think that he's anti-vax, but I think he's just pro-intelligence.
Bobby Kennedy supports medical freedom in totality. I decide what happens to my body. I decide what I put in myself.
He's also like pro-crypto and making sure that we all have our freedoms. And I don't know all the details about it because I'm not good at public speaking, but...
You did fine.
Thank you.
This is my message to all these people. 1 million nurses across America quit during COVID. Are they all crazy? No, they're not. Okay. Over 1 million nurses quit. I've been an activist for about 55 years.
Why would I say Bobby's crazy?
Some people think he's crazy because they haven't read any science. They haven't read the war on ivermectin. They haven't read Ed Dowd's meticulously crafted and retrieved data on excess deaths due to probably the vaccine. Americans don't read, and they don't investigate, and they just listen to the media, and they believe whatever the media says.
On August 5th, Bobby Jr. here released a video revealing that in 2014, he left a dead bear in Central Park as a prank. You know, a prank.
I am 69 years old, okay? My first anti-war protest was when I was 15. I stopped believing in the media and the federal government and all of the government lies when I was 15. But I highly recommend that you do not believe the media, the mainstream media. Don't believe the federal government. Don't believe the governments. They all lie. Many times, okay? I'm so tired of the two-party system. Harris is being coronated this week. There's been no election, and we are absolutely sick and tired of the Democrats and the Republicans. Done. I will not vote for either one ever again. And I'm hoping that RFK leads a movement to create a third party, a new independent third party.
If there is no real conversation, there is no real solution.
How many states have you driven through?
We've probably done like about 35 in this campaign season, 27, 28 in the last 2 months. Rolling all over and waving to everybody as we go. Bobby the Remedy Kennedy. I got a dubstep song. Let's go, freedom, folks, democracy. I love dubstep too. I love to dance. I'm part of a group called the Decentralized Dance Party, and what we do are hold giant street parties using FM transmitters, boom boxes, and sound boxes. What's on top is called a sound box, SOUNDBOKS. I don't know if this footage will ever go anywhere, but we'll see. I don't trust media to actually put out anything. I've done so many interviews. You know, Daily Show, for example, in Oakland. I had somebody else filming me with them because they asked the shittiest, most baited questions, and then they came out with 3 seconds of me basically like...
Well, first off, conspiracy theory. Yeah. What is a conspiracy?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know what a conspiracy is?
I mean, I have some ideas.
Did you go to school?
Not really. Are you kidding me? For media, they just kind of give you this credential. Look at.
What are you guys with? Channel 5? Who's that by?
It's independent.
Is it on the television?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. All right, radical.
What other interviews have you done?
Doing with Tucker Carlson not so long ago. That was pretty good. That was a deep conversation, uncut. Awesome. Tucker's a legend.
In this podcast episode, Tucker Carlson interviews Kyle Kemper, the half-brother of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Justin said repeatedly, we're in this till the end, until victory. It's like, come on. What does that look like? How can we do that?
What does that even mean?
You fuck with Tucker Carlson?
Do. He's knowledgeable and he's powerful and he's courageous. He's gone through a transformation himself because he was a propagandist before, kind of like Chris Cuomo with this Newsmax gig. But Chris Cuomo, my message to you is you do not get forgiveness until you apologize for being a shitty propagandist on CNN all through the scamdemic. And you have no repentance for it. Even though now you acknowledge all the lies that we're told, you have no repentance for the fact that you were a harbinger and a channel for promoting that propaganda. So if you're going to be the new Chris Cuomo, who's all fun and independent and cool and all that, I'm down with that. That's cool. That's acceptable. But forgiveness for your crimes and for your dangerous words only comes once you apologize and take responsibility for being a shitty propagandist.
Woo! Democracy. Oh, wait. That was crazy. All right. Definitely not voting for Bobby.
A major political headline this evening. Sources telling ABC News that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. may be dropping out of the race for president.
Channel 5 Live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine.
Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
What's up, guys? Just wanted to raise awareness about a couple of things. So in the past 3 days, we've dropped 2 other videos. The first one was called the Palestine March on the DNC.
Do you see how they act when people come out here and protest for the truth? And then you see they got the gas mask on and shit for what? Like,
they want to fucking hurt us and put us down instead of listening to us.
Arms embargo now, ceasefire now, and USA to Israel now.
And the second one was called the Poor People's Army Rally.
My name is Jill Stein. I am the Green Party candidate for president.
You could be whatever you want. You could be gay. You could be anything. Thank you for watching Channel 5.
In both cases, and I'm not sure why, right out the gate, YouTube's been doing this thing where they age restrict the videos and then they un-age restrict them like 12, 13 hours later. But by that time, like the engagement just goes down and it takes like 2 or 3 days for views to pick back up, which is a bummer because we're proud of the coverage. We think it's important and we want you guys to see it. So I don't normally actually advertise like videos like this, but it's very possible that if you're a Channel 5 subscriber, you may have not got post notifications for the 2 past videos. So if you want to go check them out, you can go to our YouTube channel and you'll see the links posted right there. Maybe like leave a comment too or something if you want to like get it back popping and shit.
Okay. Yeah, I seen that. I was thinking about copy pasting the age restricted, but I felt like I shouldn't.